Coaches, if you could sit in the front row right here, that would be awesome. Athletes, you should all be in the center with your teams, please. Everyone else can sit where they choose. So you should be with your team. So boys varsity volleyball, I hope the rest of the team is coming to you. Okay, all right. Athletes, while we're waiting, please look around and do a quick head count and make sure that all of your teammates are here. I know that 2 or 3 are missing due to illness. So aside from those athletes, everybody else should be present. If not, please get in your chats and track them down. Hello. Okay, it's 7 o'clock, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Is everyone here? All right, let's give it up for our fall dragon. Let's go, everybody. Oh, you know that's totally unacceptable for me. Just because I'm in a dress doesn't mean I've changed my passion and energy. Let's give it up for the dragons for the fall season. By the end of this ceremony, I'm gonna need to hear a lot more noise than that. All right, thank you so much for coming out tonight. I'm just so grateful for every one of you here tonight. And I would like to start off just by asking Coach Larry to come up and open us with a word of prayer to get our hearts and the minds in the right place before we get going. Coach?
I want to read one verse to you, and I hope that this marks what you did this season. Do you not know that all the runners in a stadium compete, but only one receives the prize? So run to win. I hope that what you did this season was you left it on the court or the field or wherever. I hope that you gave your all. That's the point. Let me pray for us. Heavenly Father, we thank you for allowing us to have a school that competes. Thank you for the opportunities we have to be athletes, to be coaches, to be participants, and to build a team. Father, be with all of us as we celebrate tonight. The accomplishments of these students and their teams allow us to cheer each other on, encourage each other. And this is just our first sports season, and we pray that for the rest of the year we will go out, and if we're not playing sports, that we will become the people in the stands who cheer for those other teams. Father, just allow tonight to be awesome. And it's in your name that we pray. Amen.
All right, first up, we have first and foremost all of our coaches to thank. So please give it up. I'm going to ask the coaches to stand. Please give it up for our cross-country coaches, Christy Gordon, Phil, and Claire Jackson. Our JV girls volleyball coaches, Jonathan Skaggs and Sandra Hidalgo. Our varsity girls volleyball coaches, Gail Smith, Lindsay Calder, and Coach Kim. Our varsity boys volleyball coaches, yours truly, and Coach Larry. And our varsity boys and girls tennis coaches, Dr. Park, Will Hughes, and Coach Lee. Give it up for our coaches, everybody. I need to hear a little bit more than that, everybody. There we go. I know you have it in you. Thank you very much, coaches. As you guys know, this wouldn't be anything without the time and effort that our coaches put into this. And I know that there's nothing that we could ever say that will truly go all the way to thanking them for all that they do. There's so many things behind the scenes that they do, planning practices, staying up late to make sure that they have everything ready to go for a game, reviewing game footage, and so on and so forth. So make sure, no matter what you do tonight, that on your way out the door, you really show your coaches how much you're grateful for them and all that they do. First up, I want to just talk a little bit about the awards themselves. Most of you have been in an award ceremony with me now, so this is year 2 for me, so almost all of you have at least sit in these seats at one point listening to me speak. But I do think it's bears mentioning what each of the awards are worth, and that way when you come up to the awards, you understand the depth and the kind of weight that they hold. So you understand that each award was chosen very carefully by your coaches, along with my input if need be, and it really means a lot to receive these. First, each team always gets 2 team awards. One is MIP, Most Improved, and one is MVP, Most Valuable Player. So while these 2 awards might seem pretty self-explanatory, I think it's really important to understand why these are so important. Number 1, Most Improved Player. And some of you have heard me say this before, but a lot of people are like, yay, I was trash before and now I'm kind of okay now. That's not what Most Improved means. And when if you receive a Most Improved award, it really should be something that's meaningful to you. I received it once in soccer, and to this day, it's actually probably one of my most valuable awards that I still keep. And I know that maybe I'm too old to keep an MIP award, but it was that important to me because it showed that I really pushed myself and worked hard through the season. Ultimately, the goal should be both. Imagine getting Most Improved and MVP. In other words, you're the most valuable player on the team, and you've actually improved that much from beginning to end. Those 2 things should always be the goal. Most valuable player seems obvious, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're the most skilled player on the team. It could, but it also means that you've led your team well. It means you've gone above and beyond other players. It means you've put in the work outside of practice time. It means every single game in practice, you've worked the hardest, and as such, you were the most valuable player to the team. Following that are coaches' awards, and these are some of the most standards ones that you can receive. They're not necessarily going to be for each team. Sometimes teams come up with awards that are something a little bit different than that, but they're awards that your coaches have collaborated on, and they've reviewed the season and determined who is worthy of these awards. So one of them that's very frequently given is the Dragon Heart Award. It's gone to an athlete that is just consistently positive. They're encouraging, they uplift their team. A lot of times it's very hard to stay positive in the face of defeat or when your mentality is low, everybody's sick, you've got a lot of injuries. So that person that shows that heart no matter what in the face of all of that, that's somebody that deserves a Dragon Heart Award. Following that is Dragon Fire, the person that's got a little edge to them. We do always need a little fire on the court and on the field, right? So Dragon Fire is somebody that's got passion. They're devoted to the team. They might be the person that, maybe pushes the line a little bit, but never crosses the sportsmanship line, of course. We all know that's important. But that fire is important to a team's success as well. Following that could be leadership. Now you might be like, well, okay, we're a captain, it's a leadership award. Not necessarily. Because if you get awarded captain, you have obvious obligations that you're expected to fulfill no matter what, because you're a captain of the team. But if you get the leadership award, that means you've actually gone above and beyond the captain duties. Or you could not be the captain and actually get a leadership award because it means that you've really dug deep. I'm going to borrow a little phrase from Coach Larry there. You've dug deep and you've found something that is even more than what's the expectation. Okay? Then sometimes there's a sportsmanship award. I know that we as a team have often received those awards, and a lot of people like to say it's Miss Ockman's favorite award. True. But sportsmanship shows integrity and character. Kind of similar to Dragon Heart, in the face of adversity, you're still positive. In the face of adversity, you still have integrity. You're still honest. Yeah, okay, maybe that was out, and you really, if it was in, that would have just been your point, you would have won the match. But you're going to be honest, you're going to have integrity no matter what, because you're going to win because you were the best player, not because you maybe fudged the rules a little bit. Okay, that's sportsmanship. Sportsmanship also means putting the team above the needs of the one. It means treating your opponents with respect and integrity, even if they don't treat you that way. That's sportsmanship. And then there are other awards that your coaches might have come up with that they feel is, worthy of giving to a team, to a teammate, and they will explain them as they go. After that is varsity, okay? And the word, as we've talked about in athlete meetings, is derived from the word university. Anybody who knows college sports knows that this denotes the highest level of athleticism at the amateur status. After that is professional. So varsity from university means that you have achieved something that's just beyond trying out and making the team. So we've set standards in place, attend 85% of practices and actually put the effort in during practice. Attend 75% of games and actually play in those games. And then beyond that, your coaches might determine it based on skill, because being a varsity athlete is something you should earn and strive towards year after year so that we as a school and an athletic program become better and better. These are always the goals and the benchmarks that we want to set. What we're going to do with the pins and the bars is if you have achieved that varsity status the very first time ever. Let's say that you're a freshman, you've never varsitied in any sport before, which would make sense. Most people don't varsity before their freshman year in high school. You would actually get the letter D for Dragon, and then you would get a pin in the shape of your sport. So if it's tennis, it would be like a tennis racket with a little miniature tennis ball on it, a volleyball, etc. And then if you have varsity already in the sport before, you wouldn't get the letter anymore, but you would get the pin in the shape of your sport. If you've already varsitied in this sport and this is now your second or third year, you would get a gold bar to kind of showcase how many years that you have. You don't need to worry about that. I have that information. And instead of handing it out to you at the ceremony today, what we're going to focus on today are the individual awards, and then I will be contacting you to come pick up your bars from my office at a different time, so that's a little more formal and smooth as we do our ceremony. All right. What we're going to do is just go ahead and jump right into the awards after that. And so first up, I'm going to invite our JV girls volleyball coaches, Mr. Skaggs and Miss Hidalgo, to the stage. And if I could actually invite all of the JV girls team to the stage as well, you're going to go ahead and line up in front of our lovely table here, showcasing all of our our awards and everything we've won this year. So come on up to the stage, girls.
All right, so just to start off, my name is Coach Skaggs, and Coach Hidalgo and I have had the joy of coaching the JV girls volleyball team once again this season, and it was fun and exciting to see the growth of the team from the first day of tryouts to our final tournament up at Chadwick in Incheon. To give some context to our practices, throughout the season I challenged the girls with some sort of conditioning in practice, whether it was running and sprinting to full-on whole-body workouts to help develop their endurance and strength on the court. To athletes, this is one of the most dreaded parts of practice. No one likes conditioning. Everyone wants to come to practice to work on spiking, setting, etc. But no one wants to come to practice to condition. However, the team saw the fruits of their labor as we had to go to Incheon at 5 a.m. the day of our final tournament, with our first game being at 8 a.m. against CDS. The girls played their hardest against CDS, even at 8 a.m. in the morning, and went on to win the whole match, proving both their skills and endurance had grown. Sorry. Yeah. Overall, I want to make sure I see all of you. Overall, it was an excellent season, and I'm very proud of you and how much each one of you has grown in your skill and love for the game of volleyball. I'm thankful for the love and support of the girls, Coach Hidalgo, and Coach Lockman. Okay. Are you controlling it from here? Okay. All right. So moving on to the awards. Dragonfire. This award is given to a player that exemplifies grit and determination on the court. This athlete would help inspire and bring the team back after a tough rally. The athlete was dedicated to the team and stepped up in her role as one of the most defensive players on the court, welcoming any serve, tip, or hit that came her way. Even after the toughest of rallies, this athlete would stand back up and ready for the next ball to come her way. I can think of no one else to receive the Dragonfire Award other than this athlete. Congratulations to Juna Ariyoshi for being our Dragonfire recipient this year. All right. So moving on to our Most Improved Player Award. As a coach, one of the biggest skills that we look for in our athletes is teachability. Our Most Improved Player Award this year goes to an athlete that came in and knew some skills with volleyball, but was still learning about the nature of the game and how to approach her own skill set. She started off the year as a sub, helping to relieve some of our players when they became exhausted, but through her hard work, determination, and teachability, became one of our main starters near the end of the season. This athlete did well when we changed her position halfway through the season and showed her trainability by putting what she learned into practice, into effect, into our games. Our Most Improved Player Award this year goes to Jihu Jung. All right. And finally, our Most Valuable Player Award. The Most Valuable Player Award goes to a player that showed grit and determination despite having to go through injury and sickness early in the season. This athlete first showed off her skills in the home game against KIS, who received strong overhand serves like it was nothing. She went on to be one of our most reliable receivers in the season, and even up to our final tournament in Chadwick. She played a vital role in winning our first game against CDS, helping us to win the first set 25-4, with her scoring at least 10 aces. This athlete, whenever she would be in the back row to receive, we knew we could rely on her to make the accurate pass to the setter without any hesitation. Our most valuable player award this year goes to Damin Kim. Again, thank you, JV girls, for a wonderful season. I, again, am so proud of all of you for the growth that you've made.
Let's give it up for our JV girls volleyball team. And Mr. Ted, you come take a picture. We're going to put the backdrop back up for you guys. So go ahead and get together as a team. Mr. Ted's going to come take a photo with all of you guys. All right, next up we have our cross-country team. So give it up for our coaches, Mrs. Gordon and Mr. and Mrs. Jackson. And the Cole cross-country team, please make your way to the stage.
Okay, you're right, Mr. We want to see all of you. You clean up nice. Can I stand up here? Is that okay? Okay, I want to see you all. Thank you for our team. I just want to thank you all for being here. We know we have some students who are absent because of illness, but y'all look good. Cross country is hard. Even the easier, lighter practices include at least 5 kilometers, and depending on the workout, up to 12 or maybe even more. It includes uphills and downhills like TCIS course and SFS course, pouring rain and mud like our September 13th Dalton meet, or the humidity and sometimes unseasonable heat, even at our October 23rd APEC meet in Shanghai. Interestingly, 40% of our team ran their PRs in the pouring rain, and 50% of our team ran their PRs running our Dragon Hill course. They're pretty awesome. Yeah. So I have many words for this team, but one that stands out with what I just said is hardcore. We talk about 10%, running being 10% physical and 90% mental. And our athletes are tough. In all my years coaching cross country, this 2023 team ranks among the most disciplined, with several runners training in the off season and during the summer leading into the season. New runners on the team showed endurance early on in the season, breaking the need to walk mental obstacle after only the first 1 or 2 weeks of practice. This team individually faced many setbacks, injuries, and loss. They used these to fuel their determination, and they inspired their teammates and their coaches. Well done, Dragon Cross Country. And I also want to just give a brief shout out to our 2 8th grade runners, Alina Adams and Elias Jackson, who decided to go hardcore. Two last things. I would like to thank Miss Lockman for instating the among many things that we need to thank Miss Lockman for, but instating the 4-practice week to build a sense of balance for athletes as well as for coaches. Thank you, Ms. Lockman, for recognizing this need. Yeah. Lastly, I would like to thank God for being our strength when we are weak, and for his truth that, as we sang in chapel this morning, or this afternoon, his truth that we each are enough. I pray that each member of this team is able to take this truth, as well as the physical and mental strength each has built this season, and transfer those to the other mountains in their lives. And with that, we'd like to start awarding some awards. Here, I'll stand back here. Okay, so first, our Dragon Heart Award. The recipient of the Dragon Heart Award has stepped up time and again, whether it be to warm up the open runners, to run alongside the new teammates and coach them on pace, to quietly encourage and build up teammates in practices and at meets, or, as has happened this year, to run and push himself as a varsity runner when other teammates have been injured. This humble, soft-spoken servant exemplifies how a loud voice is not always needed to make a huge impact or have the pulse on the team. The Dragon Heart Award goes to one of our 4-year seniors, Zion Kim. Who is absent today, so we miss him.
Okay, a Dragonfire Award for the girls. This athlete has been an asset to this team in so many ways. We called on her early in the season to coach new runners on pace and endurance. She is an ultimate pacer, pushes herself through every course and up every hill, every practice, every meet with her mental toughness. Consistently sprints through to the finish no matter how exhausted she is. She also puts her all into cheering on her teammates at meets and practices, rivaling Coach Gordon's volume meter. So proud of this runner and her perseverance. The Dragonfire Award goes to Hyunsun Kim.
This athlete has been, the Dragonfire for boys. This athlete has been a consistent part of the cross-country team for 4 years. He has always encouraged others with drive and strong encouragement. He has recovered from various setbacks this year, coming back stronger with a deeper level of resilience. He has pressed on and supported those around him as they have also supported him. He is a natural leader with or without the official title. The Dragonfire Boys Award goes to David Yee.
Okay, we have a new award that we wanted to give this year, and we're calling it Rookie of the Year. So this athlete is a first-year member of the team. He not only exemplified a risk-taker by joining the team in a sport he'd never tried before, he also made a commitment to the team during the summer, running over 800 minutes to earn a place in the Dragons Summer Running Club. Our 2023 Rookie of the Year is Zhao Hyun Sun.
Okay. Leadership Award. This athlete has put all of his 4 high school years into cross country, continually giving of himself to others. He always finishes his race or training strongly, and then without much of thought of catching his breath, he goes out to encourage others in the team who need encouragement and a final push on to the end. Despite suffering from setbacks, his character has shone through. Attending APAC in Shanghai was a highlight, pushing the trio of runners that he is a part of to go as fast as they could. His passion for cross-country showed when he was extremely disappointed at not being able to attend kayak due to illness. The Leadership Award goes to Seokwan Baek.
Now we move on to most improved. For our ladies team, this athlete knocked 7 minutes and 15 seconds off of her first meet time this season, from the first meet of the season until the end of the season. She improved her speed and her form to generate more power from her legs and arms. Through challenging times, Sherry has also shown great depth of character and endurance. Oopsie. She has found a new voice to both advocate for herself and others. This most improved for girls is Sherry Yoon.
Most improved boys. This recipient joined the team and within 1 meet earned a position on varsity that he held for the remainder of the season. His time dropped 5 minutes from his first meet to APAC, where he ran his personal record. This athlete suffered from shin splints, then later hip pain, but took the required rest and recovery exercises and treatment necessary to be able to run in all of our meets. The most improved award goes to Andy Min-sung Kim.
For our MVP girls, this athlete is fierce on the inside and the outside, reaching for her pace and distance goals in practice and chasing down opponents in competition. She sets a precedent for her teammates and younger runners of what hard work looks like. This year's MVP is Victoria Na-hyun Lee. And our final award is MVP for boys, for the boys team. This runner committed to training for this season, beginning at the end of last season. He trained several days a week through the winter, training his younger brother alongside him. He racked up the kilometers through the summer. He strength trained. He took care of his overall health. This athlete was a target for runners from other teams. Go after the TCIS first guy. I heard coaches say that, by the way. He earned Kayak All Conference We are proud of his achievements on the course, but also in his growth as a captain and team member. And we have watched him understand his own potential. Keep striving. The 2023 MVP award goes to the mighty Thierry Jackson.
Let's give it up one more time for our cross-country team and our coaches. So at this time, I'm actually going to pause a moment and take time to honor our seniors. Our JV girls volleyball team didn't have any seniors this year, so I know that we didn't do it for the last team, but we have quite a few seniors on this team. It's a special thing to be a senior. It usually means that you're starting to think about the next part of your life. You start to feel a little bit more like an adult. You have other things on your mind. You're focused on your future, college goals, life goals, relationship goals, and job goals, and even where you're going to live. You know, many of you are international students. For a lot of you, Korea is not home, and so there's so much else going on. And so, on top of all of that, commit to a sports team, do it well, and then finish the season is pretty incredible. So when I call their name, I'd like our seniors to step forward into the front of the line, and I'd like to give our best dragon cheer to them. So please step forward: Seokwon Baek, Isaac Granger, Thierry Jackson, Hanul Jong, Moojun Kim, Zion Kim, David Yi, and our manager, Grace Chun. Give it up for our senior cross-country runners, everybody. And as is the custom, typically we ask one or two of our seniors to speak on behalf of the team and their coaches. So I'm going to hand the mic over to none other than Thierry Jackson.
First of all, I want to thank the coaches for this amazing season and this wonderful journey. Secondly, I want to thank the whole cross-country team for pushing me through this season and motivating me to improve myself. I first started out in cross-country during my sophomore year, and I was the slowest member of the team. After the season ended, I thought to myself, wow, that was painful. I would never do that again. Well, 2 years later, here I am as one of the captains of the team. I never thought I'd be here starting out. Throughout my journey in cross-country, I've surpassed my own expectations as both a runner and a leader. This senior year, I've decided to put in so many hours across the whole year trying to improve myself as a runner, being inspired by my friends David and Seokwon. Now the season has finally come to an end and my hard work has finally paid off, thanks to the amazing coaching from Miss Gordon and Mr. and Mrs. Jackson and the rest of my team. Throughout this season, I hope I've inspired everyone that you can surpass your limits no matter how you might view yourself, and you should always have that goal of getting better and improving yourself. I thank you all for this amazing cross-country season. Although I am sad to end my cross-country season here, I'm glad I was able to end it with you guys. Thank you.
Good evening, coaches, teammates, players, and parents. I am Seokwon Baek, the captain and the senior of cross-country team 2023 to 2024 season. We are here today to say farewell to the season, and for some of us, our fellow seniors, to our high school athletic career. I'm very sad to put an end to the season, but also glad at the same time to end the season with an amazing team. During season, we shared the moments of pure happiness and sense of achievement while crossing the finish line, nothing to give up. Also, moments of disappointment when we fell short of our expectation and wasn't able to meet the expectation that we wanted to achieve. I believe there was a meaning to every step, every strides, and every sprint we have done during the season, and fighting against the inner voice begging us to stop. To our coaches, thank you for a unwavering guidance and leading us throughout all the hard time and the injuries that we faced during this season. To the teammates, thank you for an amazing season. Thank you for being each other's loudest cheerleader, encouraging each other during the both race and the practice. To my fellow seniors, thank you guys for being the largest supporter and friends and running buddies at the same time. As we finish the last cross-country season at TCIS, let's remember all the memory we created and end without any regrets. Except my friend David and Terry, we need to finish a whole full marathon during the summer. I am very glad to end the last cross-country season at TCIS with all my teammates. Thank you.
You guys have something to give the coaches. Okay, we'd like to ask the coaches to come forward. I believe your athletes have prepared a gift for you. And Mr. Ted, if you could come take a photo with them, that would be great. Guys, I just want to say one thing about cross country. Most other teams use this as a form of punishment, but they do it willingly. So like Coach Gordon said, running is hard. Cross country is hard, so give it up for our runners, everybody. All right, thank you very much. Next up, we have our varsity girls volleyball team. So if I could ask Coach Smith, Coach Calder, and Coach Kim to come to the stage, along with our entire girls varsity team. Give it up for our 23-24 varsity girls volleyball team, everybody. Let's hear your best dragon applause.
Good evening. It's such a privilege to be here this evening to share with you about the TCIS girls varsity volleyball team. When this season began, we had 2 returning players. Not 2 returning starters, 2 returning players, which means 10 of our chosen team members here on the stage tonight were new to varsity volleyball. When the season started, one of our main goals was to develop the whole team. We had no idea that we actually would not have a choice in that decision. Due to many injuries, some permanent, some temporary, illnesses, prior commitments, and many other situations that arose, we ended up traveling to APAC with very few subs. In fact, one of our grade 9 players who came straight from our middle school intramurals volleyball season last semester ended up being the starting outside hitter in the final game, serving the first ball in that APAC game. The season was filled with uncertainty and surprises, but we truly did develop the whole team. Throughout this season of changes and shifts in starting lineups, we learned what worked and what didn't. And we learned to face changes with a positive outlook and a desire to do our best. We often shared Bible verses that included, "Be strong and courageous. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Whatever you do, do it all for the glory of God." We talked about representing ourselves well, and when tensions ran high, as the kayak tournament didn't go as planned, we talked about being kind and tenderhearted, forgiving each other as God in Christ forgives us. And when we may have lost a game that we didn't think we were going to lose, we talked about forgetting what lies behind and striving toward what lies ahead, pressing on to the goal. Each verse for a particular moment throughout the season. The kayak tournament did take an unexpected turn, and we lost to a team we had beaten twice. So we found ourselves in the third-fourth playoff game. That game took an unexpected turn, and we ended up in another surprising 5-set battle to another team that we had also beaten twice. This team had to make a decision, and in that game, they decided to dig deep. Guess that's a Larry phrase I picked up too. And went out on the court for that final set. And that final set, they won the game, that set, 15-3. They finally showed everybody what they were capable of. Yes, give it up for this team. We actually only had 2 servers in that set, Ashley Kim and Sophie Sun, and they aced just about every ball they touched. So it was incredible. Congratulations, team. I'm so grateful for such a young team to grow and develop so much. They played hard, they represented our school well at APAC, and they finished the season strong. We could not, of course, have done this without the leadership of our captains and our coaches. Coach Calder brought her experience as a player and as a setter to help strengthen our team and help me better understand the mindset of a volleyball player. She's also a great listener and was by my side throughout the season and even covered for me during my absences. So I have to give a huge shout out to Coach Calder. Give it up, ladies. Coach Kim, standing here, was an unexpected gift to our team, and he helped build us stronger with his feedback, powerful serves, and willingness to help wherever we needed. The girls truly enjoyed having Coach Kim at practices and games, and we coaches are grateful for all he did to support us. So, Coach Kim, 감사합니다. The girls report this was the most fun season that they've had, and they attribute a lot of that to Coach Kim, so he's awesome. Team, I am so proud of you, and I love you. I'm emotional. You guys know that about me. Okay. I'm so grateful to say that this has been one of the most enjoyable seasons as a coach. Sorry, thank goodness I only have 2 seniors. I'd be a mess if I had a whole team of them. To see you grow and thrive, thank you for a wonderful season and for always making me smile. Before I get to the serious awards, I have a fun one to give out. To some of you, this may look like a broken clipboard, but to our team, it is a symbol of someone very important to us. For the past 2 years, we've had a young woman on the bench doing stats, flipping out, cheering the team on, and doing the loudest Dragons 1, 2, 3 you could ever hear in your lifetime. And she has been such an energizer, a cheerleader, a stats taker, and a clipboard breaker. And actually it's 5, Coach. And unfortunately, I kept the one from our final kayak game, which she did break that one, and it was such a memorable moment, I kept it, and someone threw it away. So today, this is number 6. Coach Larry broke it for me. Give it up for Coach Larry. So I'm taking this broken clipboard and I'm attaching a certificate to it that says Best Manager Ever. Oh, this team award was presented during the TCIS annual Fall Sports Awards night by the coaches in recognition of this manager's significant contributions to the team's success. Jenny, we love you. I had to be funny to stop the tears, okay. All right, the next award that we are sharing tonight is the Most Improved Award. This student joined the team as a former JV volleyball player. She began the season strong with a great serve and a little experience blocking. However, as the season progressed, her confidence on the net as second middle grew, and her passion when she got a kill or a block were energizing to the team. However, near the end of the season, we asked her to step up and start playing her back row. It's unusual to ask a tall middle to play her back row, especially the tallest member of the team, but she worked hard. Yes, I know you know who it is now. She worked hard to develop her receive and passing skills, and of course, we asked her to step up and cover the infamous donut in the center of the court. During the kayak final game, the ball came over and our left back dug it up. Another ball came toward the donut, and this player was there again. The ball came back another time, and this time it was the right back's area, and yet the left back was there. She truly became a solid all-around player in that game with great serves, great kills, and playing her back row covering the donut. We are so proud of this player, and we are excited to see her carry this confidence into next season as our senior middle passes to the torch to this grade 11 middle hitter. Congratulations to the Most Improved Player, Minju Lauren Kim. The next award is an interesting name. We introduced it last year, and I actually didn't know we'd be using it again. But as the coaches talked, we felt like this was the perfect award for this student. The definition of linchpin is the most important member of a group or part of a system that holds together the other members or parts or makes it possible for them to operate as intended. I can't write a more apt description to describe this player. She held a critical role on the team. As other players fell due to injuries, we were mindful that if this player went down, our chances of placing in the top few teams at kayak would be really slim. Even though she's only in grade 10, she plays a critical role in our team as the setter, and she has an amazing serve. At the plate tournament, she received a nomination for best setter. As her coaches, we were impressed by the number of saves and tips she executed well throughout the season. We are so thankful for her crucial contributions. Congratulations to the winner of this year's Girls Varsity Linchpin Award. Congratulations, Unhee Sophie Sun. By the way, it was only today that I saw her foot, and I was like, oh, because we were concerned all season. So thank you for making it to the end, and we hope you heal soon, Sophie. The Dragon Heart Award. I may cry on this one. I'm just going to give you a heads up. Okay. This player had a significant impact on the team this year. From the moment she stepped out on the court, you could sense a newly developed strength in her confidence. On the net, I called her a force to be reckoned with. When she served, there were those who asked, where did that come from? Her serves were strong and powerful and greatly improved from last year. When the impossible ball came flying at her, you might have thought it would touch the ground, but somehow she managed to send the ball over the net, the impossible save. And when our setter was out, who did we call on? Our starting middle, of course. She stepped up and took on the role of setter for an entire game, and she was good. She is a strong all-around player, but the best gift she gave the team this year was her heart. This player was in it for the love of the game and the love of her team. She demonstrated passion, confidence, and a willingness to do whatever it took to help the team. It is fitting that she had the final kill for the final point in the final game at the kayak tournament. The rallying cry that day was "Do it for Nora." The Dragon Heart Award goes to the heart of our team and our only senior player, Nora Burkich. All right, at least I warned you I was going to cry, right? All right, here we go. The MVP. I'm just going to make a comment before I read this. I wouldn't be here as the coach this season if it hadn't been for this young lady dropping by my office in the spring and saying, "Coach, you can't leave me. You're the only coach I've had for more than 1 year." At that point, we'd been together 2 years. And so I just wanted to thank this young lady because it's been an amazing season. So the MVP award this year goes to one of our only 2 returning players. This player has actually been on varsity since grade 8, and she's a fierce competitor. One of the things I most admire about this player, who is also a captain, is her willingness to do whatever it takes to support the team. At APAC, when faced with the challenging last game of the tournament, she approached us as coaches and shared that she had looked at the stats and decided that she should play libero instead of starting outside. This particular player, while an amazing hitter and an ace server, has the ability to take a ball heading in the exact opposite direction of the court and pop it up to her teammates in center court so they can save the ball. Without the many saves, hits off of any ball that comes near her, and her countless aces, this team could not have achieved the level of success that we had. She is a strength not only to the other players, but also to her coaches. We deeply value and appreciate you, and we are so thankful for your many contributions to the girls varsity team. Congratulations to our MVP, Minju Ashley Kim.
All right, give it up one more time for our coaches and our varsity girls volleyball team. Well done, ladies. Next up, we do have our 2 seniors, and I believe they have some words they would like to share with you today. So Nora and Jenny, if I could ask you to come to the front of the stage, I would first like to honor these 2, just like we did with cross country. Like Coach Gale said, Nora is our sole senior, but it is going to be just as sad to say farewell. I know that you've given a lot to this team, and I know that you have a bright future ahead of you, and I hope that you continue to play volleyball. Jenny, I'll have a few more clipboards without you here. But it'll be, we are just so grateful for you. I don't think there's any more words that can be said for how much you've given to volleyball, but not just to the girls, but to all of the sports. Your energy kind of carries through every season of every year, and you've given so much. So give it up for our 2 seniors for the varsity girls volleyball team.
So as a senior captain, I want to start by thanking my coaches, my teammates, and my parents who have stood by me this entire fall sports season, and some even longer than that. I'm so grateful to have had such great, solid support during my high school sports years. So as this was my last volleyball season, looking back over it and all the memories is bittersweet, but I know that they'll last a lifetime. From the funny team dinners and practices to when Coach Kim hit Jenny with the volleyball so hard that she fell over, and to barking at the coaches on bus rides as part of Truth or Dare, we definitely haven't had a shortage of funny memories. But apart from the funny moments, we also had a lot of difficult ones, like not ending the season to our full potential. However, I'm proud of us for being able to pull it off in the end, and I hope that next year you girls will keep improving and getting the results you deserve. My hope is for us to end the season off on a positive note and with many new friendships, learning, and growing from all of our experiences in these past 2 months. So again, I want to express my deepest gratitude to the coaches, Coach Gail, Coach Lindsay, and Coach Kim, and my co-captain Ashley, who's been like a rock and support system to me this entire season. I truly couldn't have played to my full potential without all of you, and your impact has helped me become not only a better person, but a better athlete too, which I will bring to college with me next year. Thank you.
First off, thank you, Ms. Gill, for my unexpected award. This team is unforgettable. As the manager, I had so much fun on this team, and being able to go to APAC and play and get an ace was an experience I didn't think I would have. I want to thank the coaches, Ms. Gail, Ms. Lindsay, and Hanmin Sem for everything they have done. And of course, I want to thank all the girls, our captains, Ashley and Nora, Dana, Yuna, Gian, Lauren, Erin, Sally, Sophie, Sunny, Gio, and Alina for all the fun laughs we had throughout the season. Everyone quite literally went through blood, sweat, and tears throughout the season, but I'm so proud of each person on this team for pushing through all of the hardships. I want to give a special shout out to Nora, our other senior, and Ashley, my best friends, for always making me laugh and smile throughout our practices and games. It sucks being a senior and knowing that this is my last season, but I'm glad it was one of the best seasons I have had. Again, thank you to the coaches and girls for an amazing season.
Thank you so much. All right, girls, we're going to All right, if we could get our ragtag boys volleyball team up here and somebody help Caden not trip, that would be great. And if Coach Larry could join me, Coach Darcy on the stage, that would be awesome. Give it up for our boys varsity volleyball team. All right. I am going to start off by saying truly, as much as I love these boys, we are a bit of a ragtag bunch, and not just because we have our Caden back after his intensive surgery, but it is amazing. He just got out of the hospital yesterday, and he managed to make it here for this awards night, so you're awesome, guys. I want to start off by thanking Coach Larry. He's been by my side since I got here. I know we started off in different positions. Last year he was the head coach and I was the assistant coach, and this year we swapped. But I truly think of us as like an equal team. I feel like we work really well together. I know I wouldn't be able to do this without him, and he is absolutely my rock, my steadfast partner in crime. He's also the voice of reason when I get a little too passionate. I know that if I were a kid, the dragon fire would probably be given to me, but maybe not for all the right reasons. And so stepping in times when he's like, Coach. And then, of course, I also want to thank my captains, who also do the same for me. There's a few times where I've just been getting so passionate about the team, and they'll look at me and be like, we got it, Coach. And I'm like, all right, okay, cool, thanks. But it's kind of been the name of the game with volleyball this year. Just like Coach Gale was saying, we started off with a few more returning players than Coach Gale had, but half of this team not only had never played volleyball before, but half of them had never played a sport before. And yet they came out, they had a ton of positive energy, and they just absolutely gave all of their heart on the court when we started off that day. And I know that Coach Larry and I kind of looked at the group and we were like, all right, we got some work to do. We can do this. And they did. They really put in the work. And while they might have started off as a ragtag bunch, they truly ended as a team that I would consider victorious. And so I am so grateful for our 23-24 boys varsity team. So give it up for the boys. I'm going to have Coach Larry start off by giving the first two awards, so I'm going to pass it over.
All right, the first award that we'd like to give out is the Dragon Heart Award, and it is being awarded to one of our push team athletes. This award goes to someone on the team who's demonstrated a positive attitude in all circumstances, whether we were winning or losing. When we were winning, he could be heard cheering on those on the court. When we were losing, he was in the huddle encouraging the starters. And when things were going great, we had a huge kill or a much-needed block, he was the first one to jump to his feet yelling for the team. He was always trying to reframe bad moments into good ones. And he's always smiling. Congratulations, our Dragon Heart recipient this year, Danny Kim. Love that music. Love it. All right. The Dragon Fire Award is given to an athlete who helps drive the team. It is given to someone who helps fire up his teammates. This year we had one young man who was utilized all over the court, and whatever position we needed him to play, he did a fantastic job at it. He led the team by being a voice on the court and at practices. He was usually the instigator of the nice serve cheer, which I hate that cheer. I wish it would die. That's just me. And SFS does it too. So that's just the joy I love. Yeah. All right, where was I? All right, so he's the instigator of the nice serve cheer, but also the guy brave enough to step up his game by yelling at the opposing team server, "Give me the ball." This young man brought some fire to the court and used his presence to try to light a fire under his teammates. Congratulations to our Dragon Fire recipient of the year, Daniel D.K. Kim.
Next up, we have our most improved. This athlete started off, like a few of ours, as someone who had never played volleyball before, and in fact, his experience with athletics in general was fairly limited. Even though he had no experience throughout the season, he really showed that he was not only willing to work and improve, but that by the end of the season, he shone. He contributed many kills and saves during critical game moments. In the end, he was actually one of our most positive and loud energizers. He's somebody that his positive energy just kind of bleeds through the team. And even though there are days sometimes when we were like, okay, be a little bit more serious, we need a little bit more focus, we are really grateful to our most improved athlete, Justin Song. Finally, our most valuable player. I don't think this final award will come as any surprise to anyone. It's been nothing short of an absolute joy and honor to coach this young man. He's shown that he is willing to go above and beyond in so many ways on and off the court. He guides his team, he checks in on injured athletes, he cares deeply about the welfare of others, including his coaches, gets together with other teammates to practice or review game scenarios or even come up with new practice ideas or ways that we could actually improve on the court and improve our mentality. and he has truly led this team to what I would consider victory. And so it is with my honor and pleasure to give this year's MVP to one of our captains, Joshua Moon. Most of you know this already, but this is my last year at TCIS, and so as such, this is my last year coaching this team. And I've already been emotional a couple times, but then Miss Gail got emotional, and I was like, oh no, here it comes again. But I just can't. I know, I kept it short and sweet as it makes sense for me to keep it short and sweet with the guys. No, but I'm really grateful for these guys. To every single one of them, they've shown so much heart for the team. They got sportsmanship in APAC, and they had such a good attitude throughout the entire tournament, despite the fact that we got absolute dead last. And you know what, at the end of the tournament, I didn't care, because we truly were a family by the end of that. And while we might not have shown the points that we really wanted to show, it didn't matter, because we knew what these boys were capable as athletes and as volleyball players, but more importantly than that, as young men of character. And in my opinion, what they take away from this and what they become as men means way more than the games that they've won during the season. Those memories will fade, what games they won, what games they lost. There might be the ones that really stand out, like our win against GSIS when we took them down in the 5th set. They were the conference champs, and we took them down in their last game. So those moments might stand out. But the moments that are going to stand out forever, and they're going to be memories that teach us and guide us and things that we fall back on in the hard times, is going to be this family that they become. And I honestly probably learned more from them than they ever learned from me. And I am truly grateful. And it'll be really difficult to say goodbye. So give it up for our boys varsity team one more time. All right, I'd like to go ahead and honor our 3 seniors. So if you could step to the front, and can you give it up for Jake Chow, our all-tournament winner, middle blocker and outside hitter, Andy Kim, middle blocker, Joshua Moon, setter. And I'm going to hand the mic over to them. I'm also a little nervous. Normally I vet the speeches from the seniors and I check them, but considering I'm one of the coaches, I didn't, so I'm not responsible for what happens next.
I'm sorry, Ms. Lockman. First of all, I want to thank all the parents for their constant encouragement and always preparing for those crazy snacks and praying for us that we can have a good season. And second of all, we want to thank our coaches who always thank you for your commitment, guidance, and cheering for us until your voices are out, Mr. Larry and Ms. Lockman. Thank you for being our greatest cheerleader on the bench. Your leadership and guidance have changed the boys into a young man. We will miss you, Ms. Lockman, and from the bottom of our heart, we will miss you. We wish you the best. And I want to thank our players. We had some really big obstacles throughout the season, but we still managed ourselves as a team fighting through those obstacles. I believe that we all have learned and grow from our fights, Jake, and losses during the season. I'm sorry for those players who I said I won't say to them when we have a fight. And I want to say a big thank you to all of you for your hard work and dedication this season. Your role, wait, what? Okay. You made my role as captain a true privilege, and I love you guys, boys.
All right, if we can go ahead and get together, and Mr. Teddy, we can come take a photo. Give it up one more time for our boys varsity volleyball team. While we're waiting, I do want to actually, I kept saying guys, but if you notice, there was one young lady up here, and I want to thank both of our managers, Chanong. This is his 2nd year managing for this team, and he just hustles out there. He might actually run more than the athletes. He's there every practice. He runs all over the court collecting all of the volleyballs. Every time I ask him to do something, or even if he's just standing there helping to actually be a partner and bumping back and forth, Chanong's there. Julia is like mini me. She actually agreed to come on and be the manager for the guys team. I poached her from Mr. Skaggs because she did such a great job. And I'm really grateful for Julia having been by my side. She takes attendance. She's actually a little stricter than me with like, people are 2 minutes late. She's like late, unexcused late absence. And I'm just so impressed by how much she's taken care of. And it's been awesome to have another girl along for the ride with all of our games. And so I'm just really grateful for our two managers. So I wanted to make sure that, that they are appropriately thanked. So Julia and Chanong, thank you so much for your dedication. All right, if I could ask the boys varsity tennis team to the stage. And as you can see, the list kind of goes on and on with our tennis teams. It's been a really special year for our tennis team. So while Coach Park and Coach Hughes and Coach Lee make their way to this team, make their way to the stage along with the team, I just want to say a special thanks to this group. Coach Hughes came on for the first time as a coach with the girls. Dr. Park, I think this is your fourth year coaching, and wow, they just blew everybody away this season. So I know that you can see the conference standings here. Overall in the conference, the guys got third place, but then they took down SFS at the end, and they won the championship for the tournament. We had a lot of individual awards that you can see up there as well, and they also did extremely well at APAC, so we can see all of those up there, and I'm just so proud of the boys tennis team. I mean, it was just really incredible. I got to actually watch most of the home games. I was able to get out there and support the matches. I tried my hand at tennis. I'm terrible. I have so much, I've already had a ton of respect for the sport. One of my best friends was an All-American tennis player, and I was just so blown away by the sport itself. And then when I picked up a racket and tried it, Coach Hughes is like, you serve a tennis ball the way you serve a volleyball. And it was a mess. Anyway, all that to say is I'm just really proud of the tennis teams this year, so I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Park. Give it up for our boys tennis team.
Thank you, Coach Lockman. Before I begin, I'd like to say a few things about the season before I give out the awards. Well, what can I say about this season, right? I mean, frankly, at the start of this year's season, winning the kayak tournament was not even a remote goal of mine. As a coach, I hope and try my best to get players to improve their skills, and hopefully that will translate into a better season than the last season. I would have been happy moving up one place from last year, second place finish. Last year, we came in third at the kayak tournament, beating out CI, and I remember how happy I was for that accomplishment. That was because during the season, we came in fourth in the conference behind CI. But look where we are now. Wow. Can you believe it? We actually won the kayak tournament this year. I am so elated and so proud to be standing here telling you that the varsity boys team is the kayak tournament champions. As much as I want to take credit and say it was my coaching that made us the kayak champion, I know that is not true. The credit for winning the championship goes to the players and the teamwork. They were the ones running and jumping to hit the balls, sweating, cramping, crying, and even bleeding to win, and they made it happen. Of course, the coaches had a part in that winning too. And also, it would be a huge disservice not to mention the parents, as they provided constant support at each match we played. Thank you. I will end the speech by saying how proud and grateful to every player, whether you played or not, and the manager on the team as well, for the sacrifice and commitment you showed throughout the season. Everyone on the team had a part in leaving an indelible mark in the TCIS's sports history. Thank you very much. And also, I would like to thank Coach Lee and Coach Hughes for their part in making the season great. Thank you. Okay, without further ado, I'd like to begin the award with Dragonheart. This player is a rare player with a gifted athletic ability. He was a huge addition to the team when he decided to join the team. But having taken a year off, he needed time to regain his tennis skills that he had previous year. With the diligent practice every day throughout the season, he was showing signs of his old self. Among the many strengths he possesses, I especially applaud his ability to find ways to win his matches by playing different style if that is what he needs to do. When you watch him play in a match, you can actually see him thinking on the court and trying to figure out how to beat his opponent. On the team, he achieved the highest winning percentage playing singles number 2 seed. With every crucial win he garnered, he contributed greatly to the success of the team, placing second in doubles at APAC and placing second in singles number 2 seed at the kayak tournament. Because of his excellent play, he was selected All Kayak Conference player. As his coach, I want to thank him for being an open-minded player who listened and made a strong effort to improve his play. This year's Dragonheart Award goes to Noah Park. Okay, the next award is Dragonfire. As a coach, I can say with certainty that when watching this player in a match, one feels like you are on an emotional roller coaster ride. At times, you feel frustrated with this play, but other times you feel thrilled with this play. But when the team needed him to play at his best and get us a win, he was able to get that team that crucial to win. I know that when I coach him during a match, he's trying to play at his best to win the match. I understand. But as many of you know, at times, your play or your condition is not at your peak level as you want it to be. I applaud the tremendous effort he displays in trying to do his best to win every match that he plays. He deserves the highest praise for the win he achieved at the kayak tournament, final match against an opponent from SIS. He had a 1-1 record against him during the season, and when they met again in the final of the kayak tournament, we needed the win to get us closer to winning the tournament. And he pulled through with a convincing win. For his accomplishments this year, coming in third at APAC, playing mixed doubles with Gina Jung, and winning the kayak tournament at singles number 3, this year's Dragonfire Award goes to Justin Kim. The next award is Leadership Award. This player showed, as co-captain, great leadership throughout the season. At times, when he did not get the win that he had hoped for as a singles player, he still took responsibility as a leader of the team and never let that affect his role as a captain. He was always positive, encouraging, and supportive of other players to win and play at their best. One of the best qualities he showed was to encourage other players and to give support to any player that was playing a match. He also helped other players on the team during practice by giving pointers on technical skills like the forehand or the serve and giving them general advice. He's usually on the court at the start of the practice, ready to lead the stretching workout to get players ready to play. Not only does this athlete show amazing leadership, but he's also a fabulous tennis player with a complete package as a tennis player. This year's Leadership Award goes to Minjun Kim. Okay, the next award is Most Improved Player. This player, as with other players on the team, has shown great improvements over the years. But when I think back to where this player was when he first began and where he is now, I can't help but be amazed at the growth and improvement that he has accomplished both technically and mentally. There were times when he struggled during the season, showing disappointing plays, but he did not give up, trying and practicing. When we needed him to step up and play at the level that I knew he could play, he delivered. His hard work and perseverance paid off immensely and contributed to the winning season. His tennis skills have improved to a degree that makes his shots so reliable and so consistent. As a partner to Do on the doubles 1 seed, I was astonished by his level of play and his courage to take risk in volleying at the net during a match to get a win for the team. He would seek advice and assistance to improve and correct any bad form in his technical skills. His contribution to winning the doubles number 1 seed at kayak tournament was crucial in winning the kayak tournament. Please welcome this year's MIP, Jin-Woo Jung. Okay, lastly but not least, the most valuable player. Last season, this player was the team's player manager due to his knee problems. But with tremendous commitment and dedication, he was able to recuperate and return to the team as a doubles player. During the season and playing at APAC, he put a lot of sweat and blood, literally, into his playing. There is hard proof. He still wears the bloodstain on his tennis shoes from APAC when he got hit by the ball and had a nosebleed. So it is no wonder that he showed tremendous growth in his game, both technically and mentally, as he stayed behind after practice to continue improving when everyone left for the day. As his skills improved, it was not surprising to see him start to win many matches for the team at doubles number 1 seed. On top of that, he also showed great leadership as co-captain of the boys' team. To him, the team came first, then himself, on many occasions. He was always the first to volunteer his time and money to support and make the team better. He produced a winning record at the kayak conference, in the kayak conference, was runner-up in doubles at APAC, and finally came through by winning the kayak tournament doubles number 1 seed. His doubles win contributed to winning the kayak tournament. There's nobody on the team that I feel more deserving of this award than this player. Please welcome this year's MVP, Do Kim.
All right, give it up one more time for our boys varsity tennis team. I'm going to have the coaches come out and go ahead and take a photo. We're going to do the girls tennis team afterwards before we hear speeches. So coaches, come on out for a photo. give it up one more time for our boys varsity tennis team. I'm going to have the boys go ahead and present their coaches. They have something prepared for them. So, boys. All right, and finally, last but not least, we've got our girls varsity tennis team. Come on up to the stage, ladies. So, I just want to mention that there's actually more awards than what's on the screen. I put most of the top awards. I kind of started to run out of room for both the boys and the girls. So you will see all of the accolades that belong to these two teams once we get everything posted to Instagram. But I just wanted to mention that this is not actually all. So please go ahead and give it up for our final team of the night, our girls varsity tennis team. And I'm going to pass the mic over to Coach Hughes, who did an incredible job coaching these fine young ladies. Will?
All right, my name is Coach Hughes. I had the pleasure of being the girls varsity head coach this season. First of all, I want to thank Coach Lee and Coach Park for helping me become a better coach. Thank you both for your dedication to make TCIS tennis strong. Also, I wanted to thank Ms. Lockman for her support as our AD, and thank you, Ms. Landers, for helping me out again. There you are. Oh, she was there? Yes. Okay, there you are. Helping me out at APAC, thank you. Thank you to the parents, and lastly, I want to thank our tennis girls for an amazing, successful season. We finished second in the conference with a record of 6-2. Many of our girls had never played an official match until this season. This year, APAC was held in Brent in the Philippines. We had a very successful APAC, finishing second place. Our doubles team finished third place. Mixed doubles team finished third. Our second singles finished fourth place. And our very own Helen Kim made history by finishing first place in girls singles at APAC. One week after APAC, we went to the kayak tournament at Chadwick International. We knew it was going to be tough to beat Chadwick. Our girls played TCIS tennis and ended up finishing first place. Our doubles two team finished first by beating Chadwick. Thank you very much for doing that. Our doubles one team finished second. Our singles three, Elena, finished first. And Helen Kim finished once again first place at the kayak tournament. It was an amazing season, and I am so proud of our TCIS tennis girls. Thank you. Okay, now on to the awards. Okay. This athlete started the season very strong, and she continued to improve throughout the season. She performed very well during tryouts. When I was assessing the girls during tryouts, I noticed this person is being exceptionally fit and using her endurance and mental strength to beat her opponents, although not having the same technical skills as her teammates. She had a solid season as one of our doubles two players and our mixed double player at APAC. Did I give it away? By the end of the season, she had developed one of the most consistent serves on the team. She motivates her doubles partners to play better and knows how to stay mentally strong on the tennis court. She celebrates her wins with a huge smile and big hugs, and sometimes with tears. She loves bagels more than breadsticks. If you know, that's a tennis joke. She and her mixed doubles partner, Justin, finished in third place at APAC, and she and her doubles two partner, Vicky, won first place in girls doubles 2 at kayak. And they only had one loss during the conference. This year's Dragonheart Award goes to Gina Jung. Okay, the next award is Dragon Fire. This athlete plays her best tennis when she's fired up and angry. Many times, she's intensely focused and gains momentum from hitting a winner, which results in an immediate second winner and a third. Whenever she struggled in a match, I always told her to pick up the intensity, and often she did. I still recall the doubles one match against SIS, where she and her partner came back from being down, I believe, 2-7, correct me if I'm wrong, and winning 9-7. She and her partner, Elise, finished third place in girls doubles at APAC and second place in girls first doubles at kayak. This year's Dragon Fire Award goes to Caroline Yu. Okay, on to leadership. This athlete showed amazing leadership on and off the court. She's always positive and overcomes any difficult situation. She encourages her teammates and creates a positive and welcoming environment. She took the lead on ordering TCIS sports towels and making sure everyone received their snacks and reimbursement for food orders. Doyun, did you get your money back? Yeah, okay. She was the point person for our team bonding night and team dinners. Not only does this athlete show amazing leadership, she's also a great tennis player who has a solid serve and an intimidating forehand. This year's Leadership Award goes to Elise Yoon. Okay, on to Most Improved. Oh, I struggled a little with selecting the right athlete for this award. And the reason being is because tennis is a very technical sport, but is also such a mental game. I wanted to see more technical improvements this season, but I was very impressed with this athlete's ability to win matches, even when she was under pressure. This athlete easily won her first match against SIS at home, but then lost her second match at YISS. I expected her to struggle the rest of the season, but she kept winning. Her conference record was 5 wins and 2 losses and 1 draw. It should have been 6 and 2. She played singles at APAC and beat some higher-seeded opponents. Out of 10 girls playing singles at APAC, she came in 4th place. There's no award for 4th place, but it was a huge achievement, and she helped us finish in 2nd place as a team. In addition to a successful APAC, this athlete finished 1st place in singles 3 at kayak and was selected for all conference. This year's Most Improved Player Award goes to Elena Lee. Okay, lastly, I could always count, this is MVP, lastly, I could always count on this athlete to win. For conference matches, the team that wins 3 or more matches gets the win. So I was lucky that I only had to be concerned with winning 2 matches when facing our conference opponents. This athlete finished 8-0, undefeated in the conference. She was the APAC singles champion, kayak singles champion, and was selected for all conference. Not only did she have a stellar record this year, she was one of our captains who showed great leadership and an amazing heart. This is her last year at TCIS, as she is our only senior, but her legacy at TCIS will not be forgotten. This year's MVP award goes to Helen Kim.
Give it up one more time for our coaches and our amazing tennis players. Let's go, Dragon ladies. All right, I'd like to ask Minjun to return to the stage. There are no seniors on the boys team, but we would like to ask one of the captains to speak on behalf of the boys. And if we could actually have our sole senior come to the front and be honored. I don't think anything needs to be said about Helen other than what has already been said. But aside from Helen's contributions to tennis, she also is a cheerleader. She is somebody that she's always so bright and positive. I love when she stops by my office, sometimes for a reason, sometimes just to say hi. And I know I will miss her very much. I'm really grateful that we get to have her one more year on the soccer team. So give it up for our sole senior, Helen Kim.
Hi everyone. I just want to take a moment to thank all of you and the parents here and Ommarang Appa, and of course especially to my incredible tennis team for being such a huge part of my life over the past 3 years. You guys have been there for me through the best and the worst, and I can't thank you enough for helping me grow and perform my best during the season. Of course, I want to give a humunga dunga thank you to my lovely coaches, Dr. Park, Coach Hugh Sang-bong Sam, and Miss Mandy. Wait. While I have had the pleasure of working with some of you in the past seasons or classes, I feel like this season was my favorite and we got super duper closer too. And to my teammates on both the boys and girls team, thank you for being my family. I would choose our tennis team over any other team any day. I've honestly come to realize that it's not just tennis that has kept me going, but rather the amazing and caring people within our team. And thank you to everyone who congratulated me after I came back. And thank you to Miss Darcy, my favorite lovey, for honestly just being you and helping me throughout the season. To sum it up, of course, the tennis team support and guidance meant so much to me, and it is how I was able to win all of my games and become Kayak and APAC first place. I love you all so much, and I have complete faith that you guys will do amazing next year without me. Thank you so much again, and I love you guys. Bye-bye.
So first of all, I want to congratulate our boys team for being a kayak champion for the first time in 30 years. So during the season, we were placed third after SIS and SFS, and I think SIS and SFS didn't even saw us as their rivals. And I remember before the tournament, I said to our team, like, we can just win the tournament, like, the season doesn't matter. And it actually happened, which was a huge surprise to me. So thank you to all of our team members for giving me this special experience and marking our names in TCIS history, especially Do, Gina, and Justin for becoming a kayak champion, and also Seungyeon for supporting us as a bench player. And I also want to say thank you to our coaches. We could have not done this without your support and coaching. And also the parents who prepared all of our snacks and came to watch and support our games. Again, thank you to all of you for making a fantastic season, and let's win next year. Fighting!
Okay, if I could have the coaches come and take a photo. And I also am remiss in a very huge thanks. While this young woman is not necessarily a coach per se, she was such a huge supporter of the girls' tennis team. As you can see, we have, wait, hold on, Ted. As you can see, we have 2 male coaches, and so we needed a female chaperone to travel with this team. And so nearly every single away game, this woman traveled with the team. She was a supporter. She was a huge, just grounding force for these girls. She traveled to APAC with them. I just would see in the chats constant encouragement, Bible verses, and I'm just so grateful. So Miss Mandy Landers, if you could please come join us on the stage and give it up for all that she gave up for this team. Even though she wasn't a coach, she gave up so much for this team, and she loved these girls, and I know these girls love her. Now you can take a photo, Mr. Ted. applause for all of our fall sports athletes. Everybody give it up as loud as you possibly can. This is our biggest season. We have almost 100 athletes involved, and I know it's a long awards night, but I'm so grateful for you all. Let's hear it for our Dragons! I just want to point out a couple of these awards. Some of these are our tournament champion plaques. As you can see, this girls tennis, it's like SFS, SFS, SIS, SIS, ha ha ha, TCIS, we took them down, yes. We also have our plaques for our conference awards. We have some of our individual placements from APAC. There are a few medals as well, which I'll be hanging up in the trophy cases. These are our sportsmanship awards for the girls and boys volleyball team from APAC. And so it's just been an incredible season, everybody. We persevered through a lot, injuries, illnesses, and otherwise, and I'm just so grateful for each and every one of you. Mr. Joe, I believe we have a short little highlights reel to play. Our media promotion class has been working on putting together a highlights reel. So they are actually going to be putting a little bit of a longer one together later, but this awards nights go on for quite a while, so this will just be a little taste for you guys. So please give it up for Mr. Hagan, and I know that Mr. Harry and Mr. Skaggs, and am I missing anybody that's also part of that class? Other than the students, I meant the teachers, and then of course the media promotion class as well. I know they worked hard to get some photos and footage together, so please enjoy a little bit of a recap from our fall season.
I get up, I get down, and I'm jumping around. And the rumpus and ruck is so comfortable now. Been a hell of a ride, but I'm thinking it's time to grow. So I got an apartment across from the park. Put quinoa in my fridge, still I'm not feeling grown. Been a hell of a ride, but I'm thinking it's time to go.
Here we go.
So put your best face on, everybody pretend you know this song. Everybody come hang, let's go out with a bang. I'm way too young to lie here forever, I'm way too old to try. So whatever, come hang, let's go out with a bang. Feel like I'm gonna puke, cause my taxes are due. Do my password begin with a 1 or a 2? Been a hell of a ride, but I'm thinking it's time to grow.
Metronome.
Man, I'm up to something. Woody-la-di-do, thank you all for coming. I hope you like the show, cause it's on.
You guys should be cheering for each one of your teams. I need to hear some noise in the house.
Here we go, yeah, come on.
Here we go.
So put your best face on, everybody pretend you know this song. Everybody come hang, let's go out with a bang. I'm way too young to lie here forever, I'm way too old to try. So whatever, come hang, let's go out with a bang.
And what would be a finish without our push team, Danny and Jin? All right, thank you so much to everybody. I have one last thanks to say. There is a lot of people that make all of this possible. So first and foremost, I would like to thank our administrative team, Mr. Michael Moymoy, who is in the back somewhere. I just saw him for a second. I'd like to thank Mrs. Gail Smith, who did double duty as both my boss and, and my coach. And she's just an incredible supporter, and she does a lot, not only to support the school, but then she does all of that and then gets to practice and coaches her team on top of it all. Dr. Granger, I meet with him once a week, and he's just right by my side helping me plan things, giving me suggestions, feedback, working on stuff together. Anything that I have a question on or anytime I need any extra help or support, he's right there ready. The Adams, Mr. Ted and Mr. Tice, not only are they part of, oh my gosh, I always make a mistake with this. At least it's not Tice Smith or whatever, Gail Adams last time. I got that part down. last year I wrote that it was Mrs. Gail Adams, and we all had a little laugh over that. And the worst part is I didn't even notice. But yes, Mr. and Mrs. Ted and Tice, they're not just here as the supporters for their dorm kids, but they're truly a huge anchor in the community. They're supportive to me. There's been a couple times where I've actually been in their office crying. It's not just the dorm students, and they've been there to comfort and pray with me. They feed me a lot. You know, you see Mr. Ted here taking photos. Mrs. Tice is always on top of things as far as arranging additional plans and rearranging stuff so that my dorm athletes can be present at all of these times in dorm closures. So I'm super grateful for them. This is a huge thanks. If there are parents in the house, could you guys please stand? And can our athletes cheer as loud as you possibly can for our moms? If you're a parent, please stand up. Please stand up and be recognized. 감사합니다. You guys have been such an incredible support. You have put together food and snacks. I know that a lot of times in the chats, things are in Korean. I often translate them so that I can see how much support and encouragement you're giving to your children. I know that when I was an athlete, I know that my poor mother was running all over the place and keeping me on top of my school subjects, making sure that I was doing my homework, making sure that I was doing my music and my sports. And so while I'm not a mom, I can very much appreciate how much it goes into being a mom and a parent of busy athletes. And so to the PTA and Mrs. Barb Smith-Chung, who arranges all of this, and to all of the parents and families that support these young people, please give the best cheer you possibly can for this group. It needs to be louder than that. Without them, none of this would be possible. And thank you also to my assistant, and he also does other things in the office. I can't even begin to imagine everything that he does, but Mr. Young-Hun Lee has done so much. While I was driving back from yesterday from an AD meeting, he had all of the awards ready and in folders for me that were already out on the table. I didn't even have to do that. He does flights, prepares APAC and kayak. He is just, I could go on and on. He's been absolutely incredible. And then, of course, Mr. Sung-Il Jo, give it up for our tech live stream and media guru in the back. Thank you so much. They are not here. They are the men behind the scenes, but Mr. Junuk Jung and the general affairs team, they set up the tables, they take everything down, they get everything ready. They set up everything for games every single time we have one, so give it up for our GA team. Please also give it up for Mr. Huang. I know he's not here, but getting all of you to and from those games and all of the scheduling that goes into transportation is huge. And then finally, we've already thanked them, but Mr. Sam Hagan and the media promotion class. So please give all of our neat people that help us out a huge round of applause. And finally, a special thanks to our TCIS Athletics Council, Ashley Kim, Jenny Kim, Nora Burkish, and Elise Yoon. Please follow us on Instagram. All of the awards, all of the stats, everything that goes into those posts is entirely them. I don't do that. I usually just check it and I'm like, thank you. Okay, I really don't. It's just incredible what they do, and I'm just so grateful for these girls, and I'm very humbled by what you can do. I'm thankful for how much you spend time looking through the stats and getting all those little tidbits of information. They put stuff in the captions for you guys. It's now a history for us, so forever and ever we can go back through Instagram and see all of that. So I'm super grateful for these 4 girls. Thank you for all you do. And that's it.
All right, you know why I'm here. I'm not the only person that does double duty. All of your coaches do double duty, right? They're teaching and doing all the things. But this woman right here does what she does because she loves you. And she has such a heart for this school and such a heart for every team. And she coaches her own team. And she spends countless hours. And I don't know if you know how many hours she puts in. And there are times when she goes with no sleep, APAC, back-to-back hosting kayak. And she represents you at the athletic meetings. And she provided one of the best volleyball schedules I've ever seen in my career as a coach. And she does that for all of us. And so, Ms. Lockman, this is your last fall season at TCIS, but you will always have a place here in our hearts. And she admitted she has dragon blood. So she has been other schools and other places, but she runs black and gold here. And so I just want you all to give it a huge shout out and send all your love, hearts included, to Coach Miss Darcy Lockman.
Thank you, everybody. Miss Gail is right. I do really love you all. That concludes our evening. Thank you all for coming out. I hope that you'll stay and take some photos with our wonderful banner. We have Dr. Granger to thank for that. It looks awesome. And I believe that there is the backdrop hanging out in the lobby. So please take some photos, hang out, have a good time. Thank your coaches one more time, and good night. Managers, if you are a manager of a team, I actually have a manager pin for you that I forgot to give you. So if you could come back to the stage and get a manager pin, please.